You're listening to The Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
We have some fun today. We're going to have some fun today because we have some new team members here at KFUO. And what better way to introduce them than to rope them into a coffee hour
Make
chat.
them talk on the radio.
Yeah, we're going to have a little time. That's right. Because they don't really get to talk on the radio very much. No. A little bit, maybe.
Not yet.
Yeah. A little bit here and there. You might have heard some of their voices. Thanks to Concordia University, Wisconsin for supporting the Coffee Hour. Find out more about Concordia University, Wisconsin at cuw.edu.
Live uncommon.
Joining us in studio, we're actually recording today because Leah's only here in the afternoons. Lea Verslues. She's our summer intern and has joined us for the summer months. Lea, welcome to the Coffee Hour.
Thank you.
So Leah's typically here in the afternoons. Mm-hmm. So if you hear stuff going on in the afternoons, well, Leah's usually responsible for it, and we'll talk more about that. And then also joining us in studio today, Jordan Harms. He's our new media production specialist here at KFUO. Jordan, welcome.
Hello. Thank you.
It's that smooth voice. You get to hear it every once in a while.
Radio voice over there.
Yeah, he's jumped in and filled in for, who did you fill in for?
I have no idea.
You guys worked with Pastor Cleland. You did some music hours with Pastor Cleland recently, so you might have heard their voices then.
Yes.
But you filled in a couple of music hours recently.
I think eventually it's going to all be me for that hour anyway. So
eventually, he's trying to take over everything.
He is, apparently.
So
Man.
Let's start with Lea. Lea, tell us about your path to KFUO Radio. How did you come to us as an intern?
Well, I just recently changed my major to film and media, so I go to school in Springfield, and I moved back here for the summer because I live in St. Louis, and I was looking for a job for the summer that would kind of correspond with my major, and so I could start getting a look to what I would want to do in the future. And my cousin, who goes to Vianney High School, he took a media class through there and got a tour of KFUO's studio. And he said that they were looking for people to help out. And I was like, oh, yeah, that would be totally something that I would want to do. And so I applied, and
here you are.
Here we are.
And that was a fun field trip, too. Those were some great students that had some fun questions.
Yeah, he said he loved it.
Yeah, their school is right next door. So.
Yeah, literally across the parking lot.
We share a parking lot.
Yeah, we share the parking lot. That is very true. We are happy to have you, Lea.
Very happy.
Very happy to
be here.
All right, Jordan, your turn. How did you get here?
Well, Andy found me on the side of the road and
picked him up, gave him a ride.
I hadn't eaten in days. So,
don't tell people that. They'll believe you.
We'll go with the one that's written down here that Andy prepared. So,
wow.
I don't think we've ever scripted an entire
I'm not sure we're all going to still have jobs after
To avoid the lawsuits, I will go with Andy's answer, which is I have a background in broadcast television. So not radio, but I also have a background in podcasts.
You could call it a bad cast if it's actually
some
bad.
of them were pretty bad casts, but
I kind of want to use that now.
I didn't host those ones. I just facilitated them. So no names will be mentioned. But yeah, I started a film company in the St. Charles County, Greater St. Louis area, and did that for a number of years, worked all over the world doing television shows and reality TV, and radio popped up when I was deciding to have a baby. I was like, oh, maybe I should go and find something else in communications that's a little bit more steady. And I was raised Lutheran, so I guess this job kind of just popped up in my feed. I don't know. And I was like, that's something I've always kind of wanted to do because I love podcasting. And yeah, that was it. I found it and sent out my resume, which I hadn't made in years. I was like, how do I even do this? I don't know.
What even is a resume?
Yeah. And then Andy, for some reason, sat me down for an interview, and here I am. So,
and
everyone's blaming you, Andy.
Blaming me.
Wow.
Well, blame it on his friends at church, because everyone that I know from his church said, yes, you want him on your team. And so,
oh boy,
It's all your friend's fault.
pressure.
that's right.
Don't mess up.
All right, I want to.
Too late.
So I want to go back to Leah's story here for a second. Leah, why you said you changed your major? What is it about broadcast and media that interests you? How did you end up in that major?
Well, my original major was theater. So I've always loved being on stage, talking in front of people, all that jazz. But I realized that in the future, I don't really want to do anything with theater. I was always more interested in the film broadcast media side of stuff. And I was like, well, with my theater major, I get a lot more acting classes and stuff like that, but I never would get like film and media experience. So I'm like, I should probably change it up and get more experience on something that I would actually want to do in the future. And so I changed my major.
Cool. See, I just happen to have a degree in communication and theater.
Of course you
Oh,
do.
really?
Whoa.
I don't have either of those.
So then I got to do both. I got to do TV, radio, and I also got to do theater classes as well. So I got to do acting and directing. It was all a blast.
Lucky.
I'm still minoring in theater, so I'll
Excellent.
take a
Great
few
combination.
classes.
Great combination. So Jordan, how did you get interested in film and broadcast and media?
Well, really, I've just always enjoyed entertainment. I'm a super nerd.
Yes.
Love movies.
We love super
TV
nerds around
shows,
here.
comic books, video games. I was sort of baptized into video games in my family. After my actual baptism, though, by like maybe a few days. That's a little Lutheran humor. But anyway.
Bad casting.
Yeah. I really always enjoyed storytelling is really what got me into it. And then my family would, rent these little straight to VHS cameras, and I started making videos with action figures and stuff. And then a friend of mine who is now one of my business partners, he came over to a party at my parents' house and was like, I have a surprise to show you like later on. And I was like, okay, what is it? And he like gathered everybody into the room and showed this like Star Wars stop action kind of video. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I thought only I did this. So then I got out all my videos and we were like, we should do this. And for once, one of those funny, like, preteen dreams kind of came true. We pursued it. I went to school for digital cinema and, really applied myself and learned to use a lot of gear that I wasn't familiar with and had a lot of access to special equipment, got an internship. So good job, Leah. That's the right path so far. Speaking from my own limited experience. And then I, learned editing and kind of just fell into it from there. And, editing, I did editing for a while, but I eventually started my own thing with some friends of mine, and it's had its peaks and valleys for sure. But a lot of lessons have been learned, and it always comes back to the storytelling aspect for sure.
Yeah. We like telling stories around here. It's kind of our jam.
That's
Yeah.
what came up. That's in the interview process.
Oh, no wonder you hired him. Storyteller, yes, please. So, Leah, tell us about the work that you're going to be doing, that you already have been doing for us this summer.
Well, the main thing I've been doing so far is making sure that Issues Etc. starts and stops on time.
It's very important.
And yeah, that airs every day, so it's kind of a everyday thing. And I've also started learning some production work, so hopefully I can keep doing that, because that was really fun to learn, actually. And I, in the future, will be working some Sunday mornings to air what we do on those days, the different services and all that. So that'll be fun.
Very cool. And Jordan, what have you been doing, and what are you going to be doing? Because you're here for more than the summer, I hope.
I am. Mostly trying to decipher Pastor Cleland's notes on how to operate our software. No, I'm kidding. Some of that is it. A lot of production work, editing, some voice work, manning the board off and on, taking turns for Sunday mornings as well. Hoping to help out with more podcasting in the future and possibly moving towards a visual medium in some aspects here and there, trying to combine, some TV knowledge with some radio knowledge, but a lot of just learning new things in radio. It's been a blast, honestly.
What has been the hardest thing to learn so far in your first 5 weeks here?
How to run the ship while Andy is out sick.
I think we all get to do that. I got to do that too a couple years ago.
It was a joint
Andy's
venture.
like, yeah, I'm not coming back for 2 weeks. I was like, okay.
I just remember it was like week 3 maybe, and Andy sent me a text. I was like, I'm normally not this difficult, I swear. I just chose to have all my work and sickness line up with your first 2 months of employment.
It's true.
But other than
You've
that,
survived.
which Andy's been very available though, despite physically not being here. The most difficult though, probably just learning the nomenclatures for all of our programming promos, underwriters and shows, and then our software, that kind of stuff. Because when it comes to production work, I've done a fair amount of that in the past with, Audition, Adobe products, and nonlinear editing. That stuff comes very naturally to me, but every new, team has its checks and balances on how you do things. So just learning that.
I believe Dan, one of the newer members on our team too, he's been almost, I think he's been a year. I think August will be a year now.
Has it been a year?
Dan used the phrase tribal knowledge.
Yeah, that is perfect. That sums up exactly what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Tribal knowledge is all that knowledge that we have inside the organization that doesn't necessarily extend to outside similar organizations.
Right.
It's just, the rules and things of how things are done.
Which is
inside.
normal.
Yeah.
That's normal, yeah.
I think I sent a message to one of my friends about something she could do to audio, and she's like, wait, what? Was that English? Like, yes, I'm sorry. I'm going to explain that in non-radio language.
Exactly. So, let's see. I forgot where I left off. I had a question for Lea. Oh, I know. This experience in internship here, how do you think what you're learning in your internship here? Oh, I got to ask that question in just a minute because I didn't pay attention to the time. All the rules of radio, pay attention to the time. We'll do that in just a moment. Think about how your internship might be helpful in the future. We'll answer that question in just a moment here on the Coffee Hour. We're talking with our newest team members, Lea Verslues and Jordan Harms on the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
At Concordia University, Wisconsin, we believe you were created for a reason: to use your God-given gifts to help others, to live a life of self-sacrifice in a me-first world, to live a life that's uncommon. Whether you're taking one of 50-plus online programs or learning with us in person on the shores of Lake Michigan, you'll be equipped to make an uncommon impact. Learn more at cuw.edu. Concordia University, Wisconsin. Live uncommon.
Welcome back to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
Today we are talking with new team members of the KFUO team here at KFUO Radio, and our newest team member, Lea Verslues. She's our summer intern and doing a fantastic job. And Jordan Harms, media production specialist. He's doing all right too.
Just okay.
So, Lea was you shared earlier why you're studying film and broadcast, film and media. I'll get it right eventually. Film and media, and how that led up to you coming here as an intern. Now, some of the you've been here 4 or 5 weeks, had an opportunity to run the live operation, and starting to get to do some production as well. How do you see some of what you're experiencing here as helping you potentially in the future?
Well, what I'm doing here isn't necessarily something that you could learn in a class and everything. using Adobe Audition and actually working with what's actually going on air for the radio and everything. Like, you can't really like learn that unless you do it. So like everything that I'm doing is just like, it's all about like the experience of doing it, because it's something that can't be taught. You just kind of gotta learn how to do it by trial and error.
And that's why we just throw you in head first. So
That's typical.
Hear, hear.
What are you hoping to? I'm really curious. What do you want to do then in the future? Are you interested in doing radio now, or are you looking more for like TV and movies, or what are you interested in?
You know, that's a great question.
Do you even know right now?
like, I've been
that's
here
okay
4
too. Like,
I've always been interested in TV and film, and like whenever I watch a movie, I'm one of those people that I don't really pay attention to like what's going on in the movie. I'm like, oh, how did they film that? And like,
you are part of our tribe.
It's a disease.
It is. So I'll probably end up doing something with that in the future. But now that I'm starting to work in radio, I'm like, oh, this is really fun too. Like, so I honestly now I don't really know where I'm gonna end up, but something along the lines of something like this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all good skills to have.
Yeah.
And you never know what's going to be useful when you get into that first career.
Yeah.
Once you graduate. Yeah. So, Jordan, how does all of your video experience, does it translate to working in radio, or are they two different animals?
Little column A, little column B. They are definitely different. I'll say that first. Just because I think that radio is a little bit more, when it comes to live broadcasts, a little bit more immediate decision making, and, you know, like keeping the playlist on time and airing at the right time. However, that knowledge of broadcast and the concept of the show must go on no matter what definitely translates from television, because I remember many, many times, you know, finding one off frame or audio glitch or something when editing like a TV show that has to go on in 20 minutes, or else the network has a 35-minute block of essentially dead air, but the visual version, which I don't even know what that looks like, bars and tone, or I don't know, a black screen or what. So they don't really have the option of just popping in like a technical difficulties music, you know. Not that we want to fall back on that in radio, but at least it's an option for a short time while you try to figure out what's unplugged, you know. But there is definitely crossover. A lot of the hands-on knowledge of the hardware, I think, has been almost one-to-one. You know, the gear we're using right now is very similar for audio and podcasting, video podcasting, that kind of stuff. So it was somewhat of a natural progression, or sideways step. I don't really know what you want to call it, but there is a lot of learning going on as well. I'm still learning new things.
He even knew how to use the microphone properly when he came in.
Hey, that's exciting.
What do you mean?
Exactly.
There is a wrong way.
Yeah.
I want to get to lightning round, but I do have one more philosophical question for Jordan, since you mentioned storytelling being a key part of both film and television, as well as radio. What's essential to understand about storytelling today?
What's essential to understand about storytelling today?
Right. If someone thinks, you know, maybe storytelling is something that they want to be a part of their career, what would you tell Lea about understanding storytelling today?
Well, this is something I think that is a lost art, or a dying art in entertainment. A story needs to have a beginning and a middle and an ending. And I think that many, many films coming out today are 2-act stories. We want to jump into the action, and then we want to have we want to see our climax, and then we want to get out of the story with no real development. I think that second act of trial and error and experiencing the hero's journey of change with a relatable character is difficult, but absolutely necessary, because otherwise you have nothing to attach to. And you might as well just be looking at a catalog of pictures, you know, or moving pictures. More like window shopping. Like that's how I feel about a lot of modern Marvel movies and what have you. Hopefully I didn't just offend an entire audience, but at this point I'm over it.
That's all right.
It's fine. It's cool. That makes a lot of sense, though. The whole like story arc thing is super duper important in visual and audio media. Otherwise, you kind of lose people. You know, that's something I had to learn. I mean, I have zero background in media before I came here, so that was something I had to learn being on the radio then and telling these stories of figuring out what that story arc is, so you keep people engaged and you have a point to what you're doing. Otherwise, you're just kind
exactly
of talking.
Point. Yes, there needs to be a point. It doesn't have to be amazing or life changing,
just interesting
for you, but interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Time for lightning round?
Lightning round.
All right, let's do it. So we're just gonna popcorn some stuff for you guys, and I think you've been prepared for this, though, haven't you?
Nope.
Favorites. These are favorites.
Favorite things. All right, you ready? I'm just gonna ask it. Favorite food, Leah.
I really like Italian food.
Nice. Do you have a favorite restaurant? Sorry, that's a bonus popcorn.
I'm a big fan of, in Crestwood, there's a restaurant called Rich and Charlie's.
Uh-huh.
I like that.
All right, Jordan, favorite food?
Gosh. Italian food also. I know it's such a cop-out, but it's so good. I mean, I'll go the old-fashioned American route. I love a really good burger, and there's a lot of those here, but
Like High Point?
High Point is fantastic.
Yeah, that just opened up.
Smoked meats? How about I say smoked meats?
Smoked meats.
You can walk to High Point from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're talking, food, let's fast forward to dessert. Favorite ice cream or frozen dessert?
Pretty much any place that serves frozen custard I like, and any flavor, really.
Give me all of them.
That was very specific.
That's fair.
All right, Jordan, favorite ice cream or frozen dessert?
Oh, man. I'm not really a dessert person.
What?
So I like my salty foods.
I think you just offended more people.
I know. That one usually gets more head turns like, what's wrong with you?
2,000 points to Leah.
I haven't figured out what the problem is, but I do like, what's the frozen custard place here? Ted Drew's?
Ted Drew's.
Yeah.
Ted Drew's is a win.
Is there salty dessert? Is that a thing?
Yes, savory. Yeah.
Yeah,
You can have savory.
I think so.
Like
Most sweet things I eat have to have some modicum of
Like
saltiness.
Bacon ice cream, would that be sufficient?
Yeah, sure,
yeah.
sure.
yeah, the block.
Or salted, like sea salt caramel,
That's true.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, this is Sarah's question, but I'm asking it.
I
Lightning round.
asked food.
Lightning round.
I
Favorite
love this one.
favorite office supply.
Office supply?
Yes.
Footrest.
What's no. Try
That doesn't
again.
count.
Office supply.
That's a fancy office.
Well, the film person in me wants to say gaff tape or
That's
just
fair.
any kind of tape.
That
that's
is an
fair.
You
acceptable
can fix
answer.
anything
There
with
you
tape.
go.
So
Leah, favorite office supply.
Highlighter?
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't
That's fine.
pass the torch.
That's all right. All right. All right. We're thinking locations now. Favorite place to go on vacation, Leah?
Well, last summer we did a really fun trip. We drove to New Orleans and then made a round trip to like the beach and
Whoa.
then went to Nashville on our way back. So I like those kind of vacations where you go on like multiple stops and see multiple things. So
Nice.
yeah.
Okay.
that's a good answer.
Try to beat that, Jordan.
Anywhere with mountains, really.
Oh, yeah.
Anywhere with rugged terrain, national parks, Colorado, Utah.
Okay.
Anywhere your phone doesn't work, basically. Is what you're saying.
Absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
fair.
Yeah,
I mean, for people that work in media, getting a break from
Yes.
media
yeah.
is a legit thing for sure. All right. Favorite sports team, Jordan?
Cardinals,
Which ones?
St. Louis, Arizona.
You knew about the Arizona Cardinals. I'm so proud of you.
I grew up in St. Louis.
Leah, what about you?
I'm also a fan of the Cardinals, obviously, and I like the Blues too since from St.
hockey.
Louis.
Well, Leah
the
could
best.
root for the Springfield Cardinals too because she goes to college in Springfield,
How do you
Missouri.
know these sports things?
That is true. I have yet to go to a Springfield Cardinals game though, so
That's okay.
They actually have a really nice stadium.
Yeah.
All right, so
Mr. Sports Ball over here knows everything about sports today.
favorite book.
That's
Bridge to Terabithia.
Oh, that's a good read.
Lit student here. All right,
Nice.
Jordan.
I assume this is besides the Bible.
Yes, besides the Bible.
I mean, you can include that too.
My favorite book just kind of tends to be what I read last that I really liked.
Okay.
All right.
The last book I read was called Rocket Men, which is all about the Apollo 8 mission,
Ooh.
which is the first mission to the moon before Apollo 11. It's the slingshot maneuver
cool.
around the moon. So the first people that saw the dark side of the moon and made it back. It's very, very harrowing. It's awesome.
Okay.
All right.
Definitely.
Hobby. Favorite hobby.
Making films.
Oh. So creative over there.
Smoking meats.
Smoking meats.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one. All right. Favorite hobby, Leah?
I'm a big fan of karaoke.
Hey.
All right.
We should do staff karaoke.
Absolutely.
I hate karaoke, but we should totally do it.
It's more of a reason to do it.
I've never done it with like my friends though, so that might be why. Good choice. Okay.
You've only done it with strangers?
I've only like listened to it,
Oh.
which is painful. I think it'd be more fun to actually do it. Okay. Last one, unless Andy has another random one. Favorite historical figure? Leah.
This is really random, but I'm going to have to go with Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Yes.
Nice.
I love it. It's a great answer.
I'm going to have to go with Tolkien.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Both writers.
I like this.
Yeah.
Wow.
You guys are our people.
That was a
No
lot
wonder
of
you work
fun.
here.
That was a lot of fun. Well, Leah, we're so glad to have you on the team this summer. Thanks for being with us on the coffee hour today.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
And Jordan, welcome to the team, and thanks for joining us on the coffee hour.
Thank you.
You're officially initiated. And
I feel like we need to have like pins. We need a pinning ceremony.
I survived
after
the
this.
coffee hour.
Yeah.
You've been listening to the coffee hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
The Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@KFUO.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.